Welcome, welcome. I've been a little MIA for the last couple days. It is Earl Stephenson Jr., your Atlanta board certified plastic surgeon. And I like to welcome you to a rainy Tuesday night here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to spend a little time with you today. I'm going live. I hope some people will chime in. I probably caught a lot of people by surprise, but this is what happens. Just try to follow me. You never know when I pop on live. As I mentioned, I am here in Atlanta. I am a board certified plastic surgeon, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today mini facelifts. If you join me for Hot Seat Saturday, this past Saturday, I opened up a little bit of a forum about my facial series called About Face. So we're going to be talking about for a little while. I don't know if that'll be a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. Really depends on you. You asking me questions of how long we'll touch on these subjects, but there are certain things that I really want to talk about and touch on. So today I really want to touch on the mini facelift. I hear it all the time. I really need a mini facelift. Oh, I can only get a mini facelift. I don't need that much. I don't want to have that much downtime. I want to be able to get back to work, school, children, husband, wife, whatever. I just think a mini, it's just not that involved and it doesn't involve that much surgery or recovery. I'm here to kind of maybe debunk that. I don't know if that's true. So, first and foremost, the question, fact or fiction? And I'm just giving you my experience. This is not law and gospel. It's just my take over the last 17 to 18 years. Point number one, when we train as plastic surgeons, we do not train in a technique called the mini facelift. It's either a facelift or it's not. There are many ways to accomplish a facelift. And what a facelift is a procedure that has an incision that hugs the hairline of the brow, excuse me, not the brow, but the sideburn, over to the ear in front, around the ear, and down the 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 back of the neck, kind of paralleling the hairline. You get underneath the skin and you treat the muscle. And there are many ways to treat the muscle. There are many versions of that incision, but there's not a mini facelift incision. Now, some practices will tell you there's a mini facelift incision. That's their way of presenting their information. I'm not here to, rain on their parade, but there is not a technique that we are trained in core as plastic surgeons in the mini facelift. A mini facelift is touted as a less invasive procedure that has less downtime, but it still treats the jaw or jaws, the neck, if you have sagging neck. But it is for people who notice these changes early on. It's for men, it's for women. Uh, it can be done in someone's 30s. I don't recommend that. I don't really know many 30-year-olds that have, noticeable jaws, noticeable crepey skin or loose skin of their neck. But maybe clients in their 40s or 50s who are just noticing that. The mini facelift has been touted for those clients. Again, you probably need a facelift. You may not need an aggressive facelift, but you need a facelift nonetheless. So, if you have subtle changes in the jaw area, neck area that are not over the top, or you have a lot of loose skin and a lot of jawling, then you still need repositioning of the muscles to their youthful place, but you may not need as much repositioning or as many techniques to reposition the muscles so that to produce a natural result. So, in effect, it is not a mini, it's just less work. And so, theoretically, if it's less work, there's less swelling, less bruising, less downtime because it's a shorter procedure that, again, requires less effort on the surgeon's behalf. But there's, in my opinion, no way that you can bounce back and be back to normal in 2 weeks. That's just not possible. So that is fiction. You can't be back in 2 weeks. You're still going to have bruising. You're still going to have swelling. You're still going to have a little bit of numbness. All these things that go along with a traditional facelift, you're going to have. Again, it may be a little shorter in duration just because it wasn't so much wasn't done or the length of time was shorter, but still you're going to have those. And this is still surgery. So you're still going to need recovery time. So again, there's no such thing as a mini facelift. That's fiction, and the recovery time is not significantly less, where that you're back to your routine in 2 weeks or less. That is fiction. You can have a less invasive facelift that requires less movement of the facial muscles. Occasionally, depending on your particular situation, you can have a shorter version of the scar. That's also possible. But it really depends on your unique situation, your surgeon's experience in, taking care of your problem in the way that he or she feels is best, is safest, and produces a reliable result. So the next point that people talk about with mini facelift is that you can have this done under local anesthesia and maybe sedation or twilight. That's a fact. You can have that done under local anesthesia with twilight, and even in some cases, local anesthesia like Novocaine is a common term, or lidocaine, with some oral sedation. But when you do that, make sure that you do that in a facility that is accredited, and has the proper equipment and training, along with the excellent training that your plastic surgeon has. So that is fact. You can have a facelift, whether it's less invasive. You can have that under local anesthesia with IV sedation or twilight, or even local anesthesia and oral sedation. It really is a facelift that probably requires less work, as opposed to one that's a more extensive facelift that we will call a full facelift. It probably isn't the wisest thing to have a full facelift, certainly with lidocaine or Novocaine and oral sedation. Probably not the wisest thing. It probably is okay depending on your surgeon's experience, having a full facelift under local anesthesia and twilight sleep. Certainly, general anesthetic, serves well for either of those cases, whether it's a less invasive facelift or a more invasive facelift. So, general anesthesia always works. So, again, that is a fact that you can have a less invasive or mini facelift under Novocaine and sedation. These are just some of the things that I want to bring to light about different procedures, whether it's face, whether it's breast, whether it's body, that I want you to know, think about, and ask your plastic surgeon. I'm arming you with the knowledge because there is truth and transformation. So you need to have the truth, ask discerning questions, get the answers that hopefully jive with your spirit and resonate with your soul. And if it does, then you move right on forward with it. But again, just so that you know, when you go in and ask for a mini facelift, it probably is just a less invasive facelift. It's still a facelift. It's still surgery. You'll still need the cover, and there's still complications that can happen despite everyone's best efforts. So, I just wanted to pop on this evening just to kind of let you know what I'm doing and kind of give you this, this nugget of information. So if you like things like this, I invite you to do a couple of things. I invite you to comment below because I do check the comments. I invite you to like or subscribe depending on what social media platform you're, getting this information from, and to give me suggestions of things that you want to know about, at least from my experience. I'm not here to throw shade on anybody. I'm just letting you know kind of what I've seen and in my travels as a plastic surgeon. And you're getting that, and all you have to do is just show up. So I invite you to do that. If you want to take a deeper dive with me, there are a couple of ways to do that. You can join my Facebook community. I have two communities. I have one for men and one for women, and they're exclusive. So you don't have men and women cohabitating in each of those communities. I do that intentionally so that everybody feels comfortable just being themselves. So if you're interested in joining the women's only Facebook group, it is called the Plastic Surgery Success Network. It's a mouthful, and I just shorten it up to call it Plastic Surgery Success. It is setting you up for success. If you have something that you want to change, something that you want to change about your physical appearance, you want to treat yourself, you want to start to be mindful about taking care of yourself, and this interests you, then that's a great community to get into, and you can get all kinds of tidbits, access to me, and so I invite you to join that community. You can also, as a man, you can join my men's community called the Modern Gents Society. So I invite you on Facebook to join Modern Gents. It is a definitely a group that is male dominated, obviously only for men. We're going to talk about things that men talk about because men don't like to talk about medicine or doctors. But we suffer, same things that our queens suffer. We want to feel confident about ourselves. We want to feel masculine. And sometimes, no matter what we do, whether we eat right, we exercise, we still have areas of concern of our face, our chest, our tummies, or whatever, and you want to be the best version of yourself. And if that resonates with you, and I ask you to join my men's community. So definitely do that. If you still kind of want to feel me out, but kind of maybe at a distance, I invite you to join my hot seat Saturday. I do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do it on basically most of the social media outlets, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, uh, and even sometimes LinkedIn. So if you're interested in kind of checking me out, but kind of a little bit at distance, I invite you to join me on Saturdays at 11 a.m. If you know me, and a lot of people know me, then and you've heard about me and you haven't worked with me, you've worked with me and you want to kind of come in and tweak some things, I invite you to call the office. Um, Set up a consultation. We'll sit down in a relaxed atmosphere. We'll kind of break the bread again and kind of get into it and how we can continue to serve you better and to make sure that you get to where you're going. And you can just do that by calling 770-466-4700. And I'll start with that number right there and we'll work backwards. There's the office number. So certainly feel free to call if you know me or you feel that you do know me and we've never worked together. Come on in. Let's get started. Let's get you right for 2024. Again, if you're still want to kind of check me out at a distance, my women's Facebook group, here's the link for plastic surgery success. Here's my men's Facebook link. Again, I will put these in the comments. So if you want to come back and you want to replay this video or you even want to share it, and I encourage you to share it, it'll be in the comments. And then again, Hot Seat Saturday. It is on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I thank you, thank you, thank you. Earl Stephenson Jr., your Atlanta board certified plastic surgeon. Remember, comment below, like or subscribe, depending on what social media platform you're on. And remember, mini facelift, fact or fiction, there's no such thing as a mini facelift technique. It is a less invasive facelift or a more invasive facelift or a more challenging facelift or a less challenging facelift, depending on where you are in the aging process. So I hope you guys got a little bit out of this. Enjoy your evening, be safe, and we'll see you soon. Peace.